Howdy, I'm Matt, and in this episode we'll be discussing, is HobbyKing really losing their touch by being a year behind? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you may have noticed literally today HobbyKing have been and released their HKing S670, which was a model which we reviewed here over a year ago. We did the live unboxing on the 10th of October, and today is definitely not the 10th of October. Oh, it is the 10th of October, but 2018, one whole year later. So that is what today's discussion is going to be about. Now, if you're new here, my name's Matt, welcome aboard. And what we've been doing, or what I've been doing over the last couple of months, is in the Ragnanuts of Facebook group, we've been opening up and having a discussion, not every day, but at least once a week, having a topic which we discuss as a community. Now, I thought it'd be quite a good idea if we expand this out onto YouTube so that you can get involved as well, because I know some of you don't do Facebook. Either way, I'm going to post this on YouTube and I'm going to post it on Facebook, so we both win. Hey. So that, coming back to topic, today's discussion, is HobbyKing really losing their touch by being a year behind the curve? Now, this is not like the first example here of the little, it was the Swallow S670, which was, when I first had it, they'd made some mistakes, especially around the fuselage, and they tried to do too much with it, but the actual model itself is almost irrelevant. What is relevant here is that it's taken HobbyKing a year to bring us, as RC modelers, a new product, or a rebranded product with some yellow stickers on it. Now, ironically, this isn't the first example of HobbyKing being many months to a year behind the curve. And the other example is, ironically, the Reptile S800. I know for many of you quad pilots which have got into wings, the S800 has been the perfect model for you because it's so robust, and it came out on Banggood 18 months ago, maybe more than that, quite a long time ago. Corking model, did really, really well. And then it eventually turned up on the HobbyKing site. It was almost like HobbyKing felt forced to have the model because it creamed every other model which was out there because it was molded EPP. And while it does have a few design attributes which are less than desirable, it does waggle a bit, you've got to give it 9 out of 10 for just brute force for getting through trees and stuff. It's really good and it's really cheap. And it was almost to the case, again, being an outsider here, and you may or may not disagree with this, it just felt like HobbyKing would have felt almost implied that they should have it on their site, and it did appear on there many, many months later. So that's another example. Now, there's another example which I want to bring up, which is the Ready-Made RC AR wing. This was a brilliant, no, sorry, I got that wrong. It was the Ready-Made RC, so the RM RC Recruit wing, which was made and still is made by Sonic Model. Now, that was a fantastic example of a company, so in this case an American-based company, working with a Chinese-based manufacturer, so that when the AR wing, when they were releasing the Sonic Model AR wing, the Ready-Made RC were releasing their version called the Ready-Made RC Recruit, which had different graphics, different setup, and even came with a stabilizer inside, and was very, very similar priced as well. And as much as I may take the pee out of some of the marketing which went on with that one, is that actually for like they were both really good models. Okay, well, they were exactly the same model. One was just branded for Ready-Made RC, and one was branded for Sonic Model, the creator of the actual products itself. And that was a fantastic example of a third-party company working with an actual manufacturer to bring us a really, really good model to market, which it is a really good model. However, besides HobbyKing having, say, like 2 in-house brands, Avios and Durafly, which do produce some very, very good models. We can't put HobbyKing down for that. There's obviously been a questionable one, which we're not going to get onto that topic. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's the Sidewinder wing, which had very questionable quality control all the way through from its idea to its actually being deployment. You can look that up on YouTube to see what I'm talking about. But bringing ourselves back onto the topic, Avios and the Durafly brands have given us, as RC pilots, or RC modelers, a variety of very good products for us to use and abuse. Durafly EF Extra, for example, absolute corking model. Love it to bits. Really need to buy a new motor for mine. Anyway, coming back onto the topic, really good models. However, it really has been a drib and drab affair from HobbyKing internally with those two brands, Durafly and Avios, to bring out quality models to the marketplace. But as I'm sure you'll agree, most of us are on a shoestring budget most of the time. And if you think back so I've only been mucking around with model planes for 24 months, maybe a little bit longer now. And it has literally been hundreds of models which have been released. Okay, last 2 years, if you think about it, just too many models for me. If you think how many unboxings, maidens, flights, discussions which we've had here at this very desk over the last 2 years or more, we have to literally be into the state of hundreds of models. And if we compare that to HobbyKing, it really has only been tens of models, if that. Okay, and that's exactly my topic, and this is exactly the point which I want to get across, and for us to have a discussion down in the comments section underneath this video. If it's taken HobbyKing a year to bring a pre-existing model to market underneath their own brand, what chance do we have of getting really cool models locally in our countries? Because remember, one of the big positives about HobbyKing is that some of you, there's some haters out there, and they do have local warehouses. So here in the UK, we've got a local warehouse, the same for the US, if it's still there. Australia, for example, and of course, internationally direct from Hong Kong too. And that's the other bit which beats me up. Why on earth is that you've got a Hong Kong-based company, because that's where it was originally created, and they're getting their ass kicked by another Hong Kong or Chinese-based company, e.g. Banggood, for example, and they're getting their absolute butt kicked, and they're supposed to be specialists in this arena. So this is being taken from the point of view as me and you being RC modelers, and we're very much interested in new foam. We like new models. I have a bit of an addiction. I like RC foam. I think we all do, to be honest. But we have to have this discussion, because if it's going to take HobbyKing a year, and they're apparently supposedly the market leader, which is somewhat questionable, especially in this instance, to bring I don't want to knock the S670 too much, because that's not the point of this discussion. We'll just call it a mediocre model to market, which has been branded and a slightly lowered price point on it, and it's taken a year to do that. What chance do we stand for other models which are out there? Now, obviously, I mentioned earlier, we got Tech One, which HobbyKing have worked with for a long period of time. Now, if you don't know Tech One, they are the company who actually makes the Pop Wing or the Bonsai or the Tech Sumo or the Yak 55. They make some really, really good models. Type them in Tech One into the Googler and you'll see what I'm talking about. So coming back to today's discussion, which is how can we expect, or how can HobbyKing continue if they are so behind the curve on new products being released? So that's the question. That's the question which I hand over to you. Let me know what your thoughts are, and you can do that in the comment section underneath this video on YouTube. Please try and keep them clean. I do try and keep myself agnostic from one company or another. Those of you which may think I might have a grudge against HobbyKing, I can assure you I'm firmly seated from the pilot's point of view. As you know, we don't accept freebies here. And those of you which may think, oh, Matt's right up the rear of BG, for example, well, then I'd tell you to go and have a look in the Facebook group, because there's been some damning posts over there recently too, with some things which have annoyed me as a consumer. Okay, remember, I'm on your side of the bench here, hence this discussion. I'm a little bit concerned. So let's open this up for discussion. Let me know down in your thoughts down in the comments section underneath this video. So with that said, for myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking part and joining in with this video, and I really do mean that. I'm looking for your feedback underneath this video, and I'll also put a link to the thread to the Facebook group where we'll be having a bit more of a discussion over there as well, and that'll be down underneath this video. Just click show more and the link will be there for you. So with that said, for myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this episode. I'll see you again shortly. Cheerios!